It was a Friday afternoon. We left early to pack the car and leave. The place we were going to was about 3 hours away. My family had been there a couple of times before. There was 10 of us going on the trip, which included my brother Bailey, my sister Lily, my mum, my friend Jack, and their family. We decided to bring 2 friends along, so I brought Zeke, and Jack's sister brought her friend Takaya. We also know her very well. There wasn't much that happened on the way up. We just listened to some music. It was a very good time. We arrived at the holiday park, unpacked, met up with others, and had dinner. Most of us were smashed from the long week beforehand, so we decided to go to the spas. The area where the spas are is going to be a place of significance later in the story. The next day I woke up early because there was a group of birds screeching outside my window that sounded like a car alarm. Around 7 o'clock we grabbed some food. I ate 3 Wheat Bix with Vegemite and butter, the others just had toast. Just outside our cabins is a scooter track where we rode around for a bit. After a bit we went to the arcade area where there was a couple of arcade machines, a pool table and a table tennis table. We wasted most of our money on pool games because it was only $2 a game. We were at the arcade area for about an hour and then we went and rode pedal go-karts for an hour. Most of the carts we hired was about 10 years old and very fragile. As I was riding my cart, the steering wheel snapped off and I wasn't able to steer that well. We rode around in a group of 6 carts, so we looked like a biker gang with members that were only 13 years old. We also had a couple of races to see who were the fastest. It was very close between Zeke and Bailey, but Bailey had the better cart and managed to win the race. After that, we stopped to have some burgers and chips for lunch. There wasn't enough to share between us, so I went to the little cafe and had a chicken wrap. We were worried that it was going to rain later that afternoon, so straight after lunch, Jack and I went to the beach. We attempted to ride some skimboards, but it was really bad weather. We managed to get the hang of it. We were able to ride about 3 meters on our best attempts, and one time I fell off and the board sliced a big cut up the side of my leg. While we waited for the rain to stop, we played a lot of games of Uno and Cluedo. Takaya and Annie didn't change what they were previously doing. They had been reading books most of the time while we were there.
So while the others decided to go to the beach, Bailey and I went to the pools instead, because I hate sand. I don't know about Bailey, but I hate sand. Okay, God, I hate sand so much. It gets everywhere. I don't know why it still exists. It gets so many poor reviews on Yelp. Right, it's got so many 0s out of 10 on Yelp. And it still exists. They haven't removed it yet. I don't know why. It gets everywhere. It gets under your toenails. It gets in between your toes. It gets in your pants. In your pants. Anyway, Bailey and I went to the pools and decided to throw the ball around for a little bit in the pool. It went pretty well. I'm pretty sure we only hit other people like 7 times, give or take, so it went fairly well. Apparently someone decided it was a good idea to throw something at my door. Anyway, so this kid comes. I think his name was Seth, if I remember correctly. And he decides to attach himself to us a bit. And we all threw the ball around for a little bit. Went pretty well. We only hit another 12 people, I'm pretty sure, so it went okay. Anyway, after a while, we decided to get out and warm up at the spa. Lily came back from the beach and also went to the spa, and Bailey left after a little bit, so it was just Lily and I, and we were just hanging out, chatting for a while, having a good time. And then they came. The clique, the group, the cult. Basically, a flock of 12 and 13-year-old sassy girls decided to invade the spa. Things got very awkward very quickly. They were all being sassy and stuff, as 12 and 13-year-olds are, and I, surprise surprise, was being a smartass. They immediately took a liking to Lily, because I was being an asshole, and Lily's a female that's older than them. Fair enough, you know, we all have role models. And then some, interesting things started to happen. So the cult leader, as we like to call her, was a red-haired, extremely sassy individual. I've said the word sassy so many times in this, I think I've gotten the point across. She, for whatever reason, started to ask Lily and I about our sexuality. Lily answered she was straight, and I answered the same when she asked me, obviously. Then the cult leader looks at me, tilts her head, and goes, "Oh, you looked bi." Which I was obviously a little taken aback by. I also thought this was really ironic because a little over a year ago, I had a bit of a phase where I thought I was bi. Jumped the gun way too quick. I'm not. I'm straight. but I just thought it was really ironic that like she specifically thought that I looked bi. And anyway, both Lily and I laughed. It was pretty funny. Yeah, we kicked the shit for a while, talked, did the stuff. Then out of nowhere, the cult leader looks at my face like a hawk. She just full and just beamed face straight at me, like, I swear I could feel my soul being pulled out of me from across the spa. It was intense, and then this basically happened. You have a pimple on your forehead. Oh my god, I have OCD. Can I pop it? Like, seriously, she looks at me, just goes, you have a pimple on your forehead, and then just comes closer and closer to me. He goes like, I have OCD, can I pop it? Can I pop it? And then I'm basically, I say something to the effect of, hell no, back up. And I just putting my arms out, just trying to keep her away from me, I was very intimidated. She was straight up getting in my personal space, wanting to pop the pimple on my forehead. Funnily enough, I now have a pimple on my forehead. It was like there-ish, like around like the center, but yeah, like it was, Jesus. Anyway, stopped her from getting grubby little hands all over me. And yeah, Lily looked at me, obviously a little concerned, and the cult leader eventually got the message and got out of my personal space. Yeah, I lost a little piece of my humanity in that moment. I felt it walk away with the cult leader as she went away from me. I felt like there was a piece of me missing that went with her. It was just, I was never the same. Anyway, after a while, Seth, the kid from the pool, I'm just gonna call him Seth. I forget if that's actually his name or not. He came into the spa, and I kind of feel bad for him. Pretty sure it was called a bug a few times when he was in there, and I'm pretty sure the cult leader caught a few bugs whenever she put her head under the water. But I mean, each to their own, I guess. But yeah, after a while, I decided I had had enough bullshittery for the day, so I left. I left the spa, and Lily decided to stay behind. For whatever reason, I guess she was just a little invested in the cult at this point, wanted to see where it would go, and she joined their ranks. She didn't become super sassy like them, but she hung out with them for a while. And, yeah, nothing really important happened after that, as far as, from my perspective, or as far as the cult goes. But then it got later, and it became night.
We had gotten tired of waiting for the rain to stop, so we grabbed a couple of umbrellas and ran to a little restaurant in the main complex to have dinner. The chicken schnitzel tasted like soggy cardboard. After dinner, the rain stopped. We didn't want to stay inside for the rest of the night, so we grabbed our swimmers and went back to the spa. We were at the spa for roughly 30 minutes before anyone else came. While there was no one there, we tried doing this thing called a vortex. It's where you run around the perimeter of the spa in a clockwise direction as fast as you can. It creates a whirlpool so you can just float around and it carries you. As we were doing this is where we meet a person we call the crackhead. We saw this person earlier in the day in the spa with another man and some kids. This time she was alone. It is now 7:30 p.m. and as soon as we saw this person, we stopped doing the vortex and sat down like normal people in a spa. She realized that we noticed her coming into the spa and said, "Oh guys, don't stop, pretend like I'm not here." We all laughed but sat down because we didn't want to look like psychopaths. She put her handbag on a chair and it looks like she was concealing something in her towel. She came and sat down in the spa and was drinking from a red sippy cup. She started chatting about how she came here to get away from our kids, as she just put them to sleep. She also pointed out that she saw one of us with her kid. We had no idea of what her kid liked, so I said, "Oh sorry, we haven't seen your son." She was certain that one of us was playing with him. She mentioned that he had snorkeling gear on. That's when it clicked. When Lily and Zeke were talking to the cult, there was a kid with snorkeling gear on that kept annoying them. We all faced each other and made the expression, ah. She kept turning around to face a wall for no reason until we could smell cigarette smoke in the air. When she must have run out of her cigarettes, she asks, I hope you guys don't mind me smoking. We reply, oh, it's fine, even though it was illegal to smoke in the area.
So, after a while, the lady just decided that she would place her head under the water. Obviously, we were a little concerned, and while she was under the water, I said, oh, well, she just got an STD. But she came up before I could finish the sentence. So she just heard the word STD. She was a little confused, elegantly stating, what the f-? I very smoothly deflected the conversation, saying, oh, don't worry about it. I know, I'm basically a conversational aficionado, but anyway, Eli's mum, Kristen, came up to the spa and asked if we wanted ice cream. Obviously, we all said yes. Who doesn't want ice cream? And we all went down to the store kiosk thingy where the ice cream is that we could buy. I got a Wii Not important to the story at all, but it was tasty. We came back after a while, went back into the spa. The lady was still there. After a little bit, the lady had to go for a while, and she left a bottle of rum and a cup behind with her. Yeah, she told us not to touch it. Obviously, yeah, we didn't touch it. We didn't touch it. She was very skeptical, but we didn't. And then she comes back with a toy. One of those pull toys that's like a hard plastic loop with a rope and then like a plastic ball on the end of that. It's like when you make it float in the water and you get the ball, like chuck it into the loop and try and make it go in without it hitting the sides and stuff. Yeah. She proposed something different though. She proposed that she would put her hand in the loop and spin it around, and the game was to try and dodge the ball as it came around. So now, previously to this, we established a safe word, so that if any of us felt uncomfortable, we could say the word pineapple, and then we'd get ourselves out of that situation. It was at this point where Jack, I'm pretty sure it was, says something to do with the pineapple, says the word pineapple in a sentence, I forget the specifics, and Lily goes, oh, it's starting to get a little late, Mum's gonna want us back at the cabin. So we start to get up, and we start to leave, and as we're leaving, the lady drops something in the pool, and she looks down and goes, oh shit, my weed, right as we're leaving, and yeah, that was pretty funny, I thought.
Not much else happened on that trip. The next morning, we got up early and left as it was Sunday. We had school the next day. So that's the true story of how my sister joined a cult and we met a pothead. Yeah, don't put that in, Zeke, please.